Today we're talking Edwardian jewelry. Who was this Edward and what was his jewelry all about? Edwardian jewelry runs from 1901 to 1914. This period was named for Victoria's son, King Edward, and this is the last period of time that we name after a monarch. In fact, other Europeans call this time La Belle Époque, if I'm pronouncing that right, and it literally means the good times. King Edward was very different from his mother. He was lighthearted, he was a known gambler, he was a playboy, and he was just out there to have a lot of fun. The styles were different at this time. Dresses became smaller, they weren't the giant dresses. They would have a bustle, but some of the Edwardian gowns were really soft and flowing. So they just couldn't handle the big jewelry of the Victorian period. And the Edwardians also saw themselves as much more modern and didn't like that style of jewelry. They rejected this notion of man-made jewelry. So like the Art Nouveau period, they also rejected the man-made jewelry, and they also used flowing lines, but they did it in a different way. They used flowing lines in more traditional forms. So they would still be bows and ribbons and laurel wreaths, but rather than being rigid, they were much more flowy. There were advances at the time that also helped this jewelry. We got much better at working with platinum, and we were better able to cut stones more round. And so the pieces that really resonate with me from the Edwardian period, and the ones that really depict the Edwardian period, are platinum and diamond, and they usually have a very lacy look. There's a lot of airiness to them. So a bow will look like a lace bow. There's a lot of piercing, they're very light, they're airy, and they're very precise. The pieces were still large. There were large brooches, very large rings, but they appeared lighter because they were airier, they were pierced. And you will see smaller rings, but they were stacked when they were worn by the Edwardians. They were usually stacked knuckle to knuckle. So while Edwardian pieces are large, they have a delicate feeling. They rarely used colored gemstones. It was almost always platinum and diamonds. When the Edwardians needed to wear mourning pieces during the period of mourning, they took these airy, light platinum and diamond pieces and pinned them to black ribbons. So they might wear it around their neck or on some other part of their body. And that is how they approached mourning jewelry, because it still followed all of the rules of mourning jewelry. The other type jewelry that you'll see a lot is in necklaces. Their dresses were pretty low cut and sometimes were flowy. And the necklaces were similar to this, where they were platinum, but there wasn't a lot of platinum involved. It might be like a bar and a diamond, a bar and a diamond, because they could be so much more precise. And one look that happened a lot was a necklace that came down and then continued into two drops and usually had diamonds on it. So the pieces were more precise and they were more delicate. So the Edwardian jewelry was a relatively short period of time, and it has a pretty distinct look. You can get to where you can spot Edwardian jewelry just by seeing enough of it. I happen to love Edwardian pieces. Some of the finest examples of platinum and diamond jewelry are from the Edwardian time. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me what you think about Edwardian style, and please be sure to subscribe. I would love to see you again. Until next time.